back to the Unleashing Perilous Times. Me and Chris have teamed up again here for this video, and we just want to talk about some end-time events and things taking place right now. We have stated multiple times now the current events taking place and how it looks like we're getting close to the end. And, we're happy to share these different things. We're in a prophetic time in the history of the world that has never been seen before, and we really can feel the approach of what looks like the tribulation starting. There's a number of events that take place that point to this being what looked like the lineup of the seals breaking. Worldwide war that was absolutely on the verge of happening, and a worldwide economic collapse is about to break, because we know that has to happen for them to usher in the mark of the beast system, which is going to be an economic system that is spoken of in Revelation 13, that you can't buy or sell without it. When we see these things lining up and they're this proximity, not where they're spread out, with the time with Israel's 70-year generation, along with other things, and all the events that we know of that are taking place, it really is giving us a definitive answer that we're what looks like right at the precipice of the tribulation starting and getting closely to the timeline. And we've got some different things we're going to talk about here that are taking place, but we just want to throw them out there and let you guys know what we see going on and stuff like that, and what we think looks like could happen here real soon. And
absolutely.
Yeah, one of the things that I want to talk about is a lot of this space stuff that's going on. And I keep seeing more and more and more. We knew about the observatory getting shut down. We didn't know exactly what they were looking at. But it wasn't just the Sunspot Observatory that got shut down. It was a few others around the planet at the same time. Now Hubble and the other satellite in space that does photography, both of them got shut down for reasons. The Russian rocket that goes up is shut down, and from what it sounds like, they won't be able to get another one going until sometime next year, which is going to leave the people on the International Space Station. They're going to need to take the emergency pod back down, and nobody's going to be up there. And they're shutting down any and all stuff that has to do with space, and I find this extremely interesting, and it tells me one thing, that something is coming in. And my guess is that it has to do with UFOs or that planet system. Why do I say UFOs? Because that comes first, planet comes second. Planet's going to be part of the trumpet system, or the first trumpets, 1 through 3 or 1 through 4, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to come after. The deception that comes in the beginning to make the excuse for the rapture, that's something different. That comes first, and that's going to be the alien agenda. So I'm thinking, the way that this is lining up and how close stuff is, that what they're blocking in space, this is just deductive reasoning. It's the only thing that we see. It's not going to be the planet system, because we know we go through the seals first, and that takes 1.5 years. Yeah. Right? So the only thing that it could be that they're blocking is some sort of ships they got up there. And like I've said before, they're massive. There's extremely big ones. It's like Independence Day, basically. 15-mile wide might be an understatement. There's going to be big ones. And this is exactly what I saw in that vision in 2014 before any of this came out. Because all I did, and you knew it back then right in the beginning when it happened, because I remember telling you and my family and everybody else exactly what it was. It was big, about 1 mile wide. It was over Sandpoint. It's the first thing I saw. And as it was hovering there, boom, we go up in the rapture. Very interesting. And I'm not the only one that have had visions of alien UFOs associated with the rapture at the same time. So it's very interesting that this is taking place right now, and it's getting closer and closer. And what else have we been talking about? That this looks like it's going to kick off this year, all right? And all the events that are taking place seem like this year.
It's interesting that they were talking about shutting down the internet there for a little bit too.
Yeah, for 48 hours or something like that.
People can't communicate as well if the internet's shut down.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's interesting, because if they did that around the same time, But this month and into November is looking extremely prophetic. We can only take it one step at a time, but it's still looking like it's game on, which is all I've been pointing. We've been pointing this out the whole time. It looks like it's about to be game on. Nothing is pulled back from it. Last year, it looked like it was game on, and then starts to pull back, right? That's exactly what happened. And the year before that as well. This is the point where it usually pulls back, and then we go through another year of birth pains, blah, blah, blah. And it's not pulling back. It's pushing right over the edge. And that's exactly what it looks like. This thing looks like it's about to break loose. And it's hard for us to imagine this, because that means that the whole thing is going to happen, including the rapture. And as much as we talk about it, it's impossible for a human mind to grasp the sheer awesomeness of the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
When you change or whatever, when you step out of this reality into the next, it's legendary. It's going to be incredible. And like I say, what I was telling you before, it's like planning an awesome vacation that you don't have money for. Saying you're going to do it in the future, it doesn't feel real.
Try your hardest to imagine it as best as you possibly can, and you still can't come close to it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty incredible, but stuff is really lining up with it. There was a verse Chris had on one of his videos before, and something that I've missed before, and I find it very interesting, and it's in Jeremiah. Chris, why don't you share that with us real fast?
Okay, it's in Isaiah 66:4.
Oh, sorry.
Verse 17. It reads, "They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination, and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord." The interesting thing about that is there's a thing called EnviroPig, where they have used mouse DNA in with the swine for environmental purposes. And so people are consuming the mouse and the abomination swine together.
Yeah, that's extremely
But this is being fulfilled right now.
It's extremely interesting.
And what it says before that is also interesting. "For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many." And then it goes on to say about consuming the mouse and the swine together.
It's interesting. It's definitely an end time event. And I think that it's pointing exactly to where we are. We're at the end of the finish line here. It's right to kick into it. What I see with that is a food crisis. And them wanting to build food that's going to be faster and quicker, that's going to be genetically modified, basically, which is what they're trying to do with all the food anyways. Genetically modified food that is bad for people.
So to you, the viewers, you should look this up, EnviroPig, and check it out yourself. You can read all about it. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. It definitely looks like it's lining up though for the end time events, because this couldn't have been done at another time.
Yeah. Did it mean that they were going to eat swine and a mouse on the same dinner plate? I don't think so. I think this is what it's referring to. Consuming them together.
I think so too, man. That's exactly what it looks like.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it is. I don't see this being in any other time period except for this one, unless it's pre-flood. But obviously, it's not talking about pre-flood because it's talking about end-time events. Jesus is coming back and he's running the earth and fire and everything else. It's talking about the tribulation. All right. So what they're doing right there, the mixture of DNA, this is an end-time event. It's only in the technology advancements that we have right now that they'd be doing this. It's lining up to this time. And like I said, I think it's going to be for food shortages and things like that. They're probably going to be doing it inside the tribulation as well. But everything is an abomination,
So it's once again another end-time sign that's been fulfilled. Or being fulfilled.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is a verse that I have not paid attention to before, and you only pointed it out the other day, and you've talked about it on your videos, and I think it's a great catch. Something that I didn't see, but it's just one of the many, many, many that have filled that this is the end times that we're in, And that's the whole point, to warn people, to get them ready, If you've been involved with the world or, you've been backslidden Christian, there's no anger towards that. Everybody is in a place and rough times and stuff like that in your life. The point is to let go of that stuff and realize that, wow, we're at the end, this is all lined up. Get your heart right with Jesus so you can come out of here in the rapture. And not only that, but even more, you be able to tell loved ones stuff you care about so that you can warn them and maybe save their life too and get them to heaven, because it's going to be worth so much when you get up there, And so it's extremely important. That's why we talk about it. Just warning signs, warning signs, warning signs. And it reminds me of Jeremiah and the time that he was in. We're in that same time right now. He was in there telling them, no, we're about to be taken over by Babylon. He was told by God this is what's going to happen, and it's punishment for what Israel's been doing, And they've got all these other ones, basically your prosperity gospels and stuff like that. No, we're going into a year of blessing like never before. Oh, you're about to have financial needs met. Oh, you're going to be taking over the financial needs or all the financial blessings of the Gentiles. Whatever thing there is sounds exactly like all the preachers and stuff out there today, and only the very few are the Jeremiahs saying, no, clean it up, it's about to start. But in this case, instead of going into Babylon, we're about to get out of here. We're not appointed to this whole situation. Revelations 3:10, because we kept the commandments, he's going to keep us from the tribulation that comes upon the whole world.
Yep.
So it's extremely important.
So just think, no matter how great of a life you may have here right now, some people have better lives than others. When you get to go to heaven and be with Jesus, it's going to be so much better you can't even comprehend it. So you always want to hope for that. You always want to look for that, in my opinion. You should always be looking for that blessed hope.
Revelations 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. And that's the tribulation, and Jesus warns of that, always be ready, So I were to pray that we be counted worthy to escape the tribulation in Luke 21. It's you don't want to have anything to do with it, we want to get out of here. That's if you stay, John sees in Revelation, they're like the sands of the seas, and they've been killed as martyrs, and they're in heaven. But this is the secondary way, and it's not the first way. The first way is to be raptured out, and right, that's the blessed hope, and that is what we're told to encourage one another with in Titus. All right, it's an encouragement, and that's why we like to talk about it, because knowing that we're going to get out of here. Are there tribulations? Trust me, I have faced them my entire life. If you are out there talking about God or doing the right things for God or believe in the Bible and trying to teach others, you are going to be in the trenches taking grenades your entire life. It is brutal out there, right? And some of you out there that have been in this understand this and know this, okay? If you're not and you're sitting on the sidelines, you're going to have a cakewalk, okay? It's going to be a piece of cake, and you're just going to go through what normally is. Why? Because the devil doesn't want you saying anything, so he's not going to bring any tribulation or any hardship your way. You get set on the sides, all right? But if you are out there and you're doing it and you're busting it, you're going to have a lot of hardships coming your way. These are normal tribulations that we go through. In America, we get it relatively easy, and I have to admit it. No matter what I've been through, homeless or anything else, it's nothing compared to, say, somebody deals with in China, India, Pakistan, with the CC Bibi and stuff like that, where I'm constantly signing the petitions, get her out of there, because over there you'll get killed, and these are serious tribulations and people die for it, but it is never the tribulation, all right? What we go through, even the people getting killed, even ISIS, anything like that, all right, is not the tribulation. When the tribulation starts, billions will die, and we're not appointed to any of that stuff. No. If you're walking with God and you're looking to get out of here, you know what I'm saying? If you love the world more than Jesus, there's a chance that you might not be looking in the right place. And this gets into the parable of the 10 virgins. All right, 5 are left. All right, it's not the world. It's talking about Christians. All right,
yeah, it's people not a percentage. It's not 50%. It's not what it's talking about.
Yeah, and it has to do with Christians or people that know God at least. All right. Because the world is not paying attention. They're not part of the brides that are waiting for the groomsmen, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It has to do with those that already know about it, and those would be Christians. 5 of them are foolish in this parable, and 5 are wise. And it just goes to show you that there is going to be those that are left behind. And these are the ones that get killed as martyrs spoken of during the tribulation. All right, that John sees as the sands of seas, because I believe there's going to be more that die and get killed and are taken than go in the rapture. And from what I've seen in my vision, the number seems small, and I've never seen anything to change it. I've only seen more proof through all the comments that I've read now over the years and everything since then that I've prayed and looked at. I just see more confirmation. Most Christians don't have a clue about anything. They don't have any idea of end-time eschatology. They don't understand the Bible, and most of their walks are so flaky that they don't actually want anything to take place, Now, can someone still get saved and get out of here? Yeah, absolutely. But they're not going to have anything to show for it when they get up there. Mm-hmm. And why you talk about this is because, I want people to have gifts and things like that when they get up there. I want them to be able to say that they had something to show for it, and you get that by fighting. That's the whole point. You're out there fighting. And if you're cakewalking, yeah, you might make it, and the Bible even says that. Paul says it. He's like, yeah, you'll make it through as someone escaping the flame, but where's your reward? You don't have anything. Whereas some of those at the Bema seat that have, when it gets tested by fire, what they have as a reward comes out the other side, and we don't know what that is. It's only speculation, but I know it's going to be radical.
Yeah.
And it's going to be something you're going to be very grateful that you did. One of the other things that's taking place is the war preparation is just absolutely taking off. General Mattis just wanted all military planes 80% ready by next year. And I heard somebody make a comment, if it means next year, he means right now. And they better hurry it up because what Russia and China and the rest of the world want to do to America, it's prep. They might not get this chance again. So if they're serious about it, they're going to need to kick it in gear. And those other countries, they better hurry it up because this is their chance that they want to take down America, right? America's going to be brought down, and we know this is in the Illuminati. We come in fourth place. We're no longer going to be a superpower. Europe or EU situation, Russia and China take over as the leading spots. America goes in, bam. We also know that this is most likely Mystery Babylon. It is traded with the whole world. We have ports. Regular Babylon doesn't. It's not like it used to be. There are so many different areas where Mystery Babylon lines up with America, and the way that we're looking, it looks like it's about to get totally destroyed. So if we calculate this in as well, as close as it is, if they wait another year and they are ready to amp up the military protection, what's going to happen is it's going to push this off, and that's not going to happen because we have timelines with people that are in age, like the Pope, which we know is the false prophet that gets tossed in a lake of fire alive, all right, in Revelation 19. So he makes it through the tribulation without dying of old age. He's already 81 now. He's pushing it. Things need to start taking place now. All right. So if we look at this, they need to do this attack this year, and this attack is going to blow into World War III. You don't take out America and have multiple countries hitting it without grabbing the whole world and getting brought into one big nuclear crap storm. You know what I'm saying?
And you got the Pope going down to North Korea. Makes me wonder what he's going to be up to down there and what he's going to be saying to Kim Jong-un as far as, don't get rid of your nukes. Don't worry about trying to get along with the United States because we got your back or whatever. Who knows what could be going on behind the scenes with these things with the Pope.
He's going to be pushing this one world religion most likely, and they are going to be ushering it in. And aliens are most likely going to be a part of this agenda. The alien thing is so close to taking place, it's unbelievable. All right. I am not the only one that's seen those spaceships that come down or whatever, and they're demonic. They're
Totally.
demonic.
Totally.
Fallen Age. We've got different versions, which are just different skin scoot creations that they have used to mix with the genes from humans and animals. They've made tons of different ones, and they either have Nephilim spirits or some other type of spirit that is in them that inhabit them. They're like a skin suit. They have the Raphaim or Nephilim cannibalism, and they want to eat people. They size them up for that. And then we also have ones that are fallen angels. And a thought that came to my mind today, it's very interesting. If the fallen angels and them get kicked out of heaven at some time during the tribulation, what better cover than to come down as aliens, even peaceful ones, as one side of it, so that you could all come down in one spot as your excuse. Why are you guys all here right now? We're here to help you. We're here to help you, when the truth is, actually, we got kicked out of space. And we're, the more the truth comes out about it, the more people will, wait a minute, this lines up with the Bible, which is what they've been trying to prevent the whole time, is any sort of line up with the Bible, which is what the whole alien agenda is about in the first place.
See, don't you guys see how aliens fit with it perfectly to be what they are, what we know them to be?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, it
all
is.
fits perfectly, like a glove.
Yeah, it really does. And there are still people there. I see videos and they're like, get on board their ships. I can't wait to meet them. And this falls in line exactly with people's visions that people are going to invite them right into their house while they're sizing them up for the dinner table, the aliens. Yeah. And then the kid's vision, Jeremy or whatever, when he's like, after World War III, we get into a war with them and they eat people, Mom. And we don't know what part of the tribulation this falls into. I'm guessing there's going to be aspects of the tribulation that are completely separate from the judgments. They're almost just as bad. They're taking place at the same time. We know that certain plagues are killing people, a quarter, 1/3, or whatever on the earth. Yeah. But there's also other things that are taking place that are killing people too.
Yeah, it's not talking about all the extracurricular stuff that's going to be happening in between and during.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree, man. I totally agree.
That's all stuff we just don't know, and I don't want to know.
Yeah, we don't, but it's a time like never before, and if God didn't shorten the time, and he's not talking about the tribulation, he's talking about the length itself. Yeah. If it were to extend past 7 years, no flesh should be left alive. Mm-hmm. the time that it is set, it's going to render the earth basically humanless, and it's ultimate judgment, and it's fitting down into the timeline. And the timeline has always been this: we give you guys time, all right, to get it right. You'll live full lifetimes, but we're getting down to the wire. Now there's only one way: are you for me or are you not? We're almost to the end, and when it gets to the end, you're standing on one side of the line. You're either going to heaven with me forever, which is what I want, or you go to the other place, what I don't want, but it's going to be your choice. At the end, when the sand's up and the time's there, whatever side you're standing on is where you go. And this is why we keep encouraging people: get ready, get right with God, pay attention, and be watching for this stuff. Don't have your head in the world, and if you do, let it go. If you find yourself watching a video like this during the tribulation, watch it fast, because we don't know how long it'll be up before they take it down, and get right with God. That's the whole point. If you get right with God during the tribulation, you have at least passed that. You will die, but you will at least pass that, and you will make it into eternity, and that's the most important part. Dying is a fast thing, all right? It happens very quickly. Living eternity in fire and suffering beyond time itself, that is something completely different, and I could never wish it on anybody, all right? So
how long does a woman suffer contractions and pain during childbirth until the birth actually happens? I mean, it doesn't just keep going forever. Eventually it happens. Just like this. Eventually this is going to happen.
Yeah, I agree.
And it sure seems like it's going to happen really soon.
We've been in something a little bit longer than an elephant pregnancy. It's been taking on, but it's getting close to the wire. Mm-hmm. And now we're looking at numbers. Now we're taking prophecy into account of people's visions, and we're also looking at numbers. When would this have to take place? And there is nowhere in the Bible that does not allow this. We are given the numbers straight from angels. We know that it will come exactly to those days. All right, and we can do other speculations. We know that feast days are filled on the day, and when we put this together, we have created a map of what looks like it could be this year, starting around the first weekend of November, straight to Passover 2022, and from that point on, the Jews flee to Shabbat Shuvah 2025, 1,260 days, day of return.
And what do you think he gave us those numbers for in the Bible? Why do you think he told us the days? You think it's just for something to read, or for something for us to try to figure out and see coming?
Yeah, absolutely. And we have. And even though it's been blinded for years, and I've heard different reasons, and they're all good. One, so that the Bible would be allowed to be published in the first place during the Roman times and stuff like that, because if they knew what it actually meant and what was coming, they might try to have stopped it down. I'm like, wow, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of stuff that's hidden, but it is also being revealed at the same time. And there's a verse. If there's anything you want to talk about, I'm going to grab it real fast here.
Where are you heading to?
I am heading to Corinthians. 1 Corinthians. There we go. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9. But as it is written, eye have not seen nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. All right, it's absolutely incredible. I love to talk about this verse, especially when I'm talking about heaven and how great things are, because it's truly amazing. I have had a few comments now that say you need to read past that, and I'll be happy to. But God hath revealed them. But God hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit, for the Spirit searches all things, yea, the deep things of God. All right, and that's a good point. God hath revealed. All right, there's people trying to say no, he's revealed everything unto us right now. There's a problem with that. Has he revealed to us? Yes, absolutely. Is there any part in the Bible that says we're on flying horses? No, there isn't. But deductive reasoning, knowing that we come back in the clouds with Jesus, tells me whether they have wings or not, we are flying on horses. Then you get into stuff like Elie Marzulli's vision, the same way as mine when I was going up, and he's on flying horses, along with the preacher that was talking to, I can't think of the guy's name right now, but he always does talk over in Jerusalem, where he saw him hovering off the ground doing battle formations in heaven, all right? But God hath revealed them this by the Spirit, for the Spirit searches all things, yea, the deep things of God. Has he revealed stuff to us? Absolutely, that the world doesn't know. Yes, absolutely, including some of the stuff that I'm talking about, including the size of trees and other things like that. Very awesome. Has everything been revealed to us? I would be a real arrogant piece of crap if I said that God has revealed everything to us. There is stuff up there that we have no clue, and we're going to be totally blown away. We don't even know what happens at the Bema Seat judgment, neither does anybody else. There are things that are still hidden, and they're going to blow us away. Yet let me read again. But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God hath prepared for them that love him. So has he shown us stuff? Yes, absolutely. Do we know secret things that we didn't know before? Yes, absolutely. Are there things that are revealed to us and those looking for him that the world doesn't know? Yes, absolutely. Do we know everything? And is this entailing everything? Absolutely not. All right? There's stuff that is still hidden from us. And that's the point, and I want to answer that to a few people that have left that comment that I need to read further, like we know it, because we don't. And that's exciting, because that's more stuff to be looking forward to.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, for sure. The stuff that's lining up right now, it's truly looking like it's it. And we can only give so many warnings, all right? And it's a bold thing to do. The whole tribulation starts October 3rd thing is very point was to get people's attention that there could be a peace deal going on. If we look at the numbers and what's happening right now, things need to be taking place at certain times. For this reason, dates have to be thrown out, dates that line up with numbers. Could they be slightly off? Yeah, absolutely, because I don't own them. I can only point them out that this is a real possibility, and if it were to happen, these would be the times that they would take place according to what we know from Scripture. No trickery whatsoever, nor lead anybody, because there's no money to be made or anything like that. This is just biblical talk with fellow Christians, which is all that we're doing, right? And to be warning people.
And also, is anybody out there so arrogant as to say that they know for sure that it's not going to happen? You know?
Yeah, and there are people, and they were doing it last year, saying that the rapture can't happen on the Revelation 12 sign, and it's like, we don't know if it can or not.
There's people saying that it can't happen on this date. It's not going to happen on this date. Well, you don't know. It could happen.
Absolutely, it can or it might not, and that's the point. We don't own it at all, so to say either or is not, but we definitely can say, hey, pay attention to this and be looking for it, which is what we're doing, and other people have done, like Scotty last year and stuff like that. All that we're doing is trying to, hey, warn people, get right with God. The whole thing really does line up. It's very important. And turn to Jesus now and let go of the world, because we might not have much longer. This is the last minute. We're watchmen on the wall giving the warning call, and this is what we do.
He gave us our basic instructions before leaving Earth, the Bible. And he gave us the book of Revelation to tell us things, to reveal things. It's in the name. And also end times prophecies and other books. So we should be trying to dig into this and find these things out and learn and watch for his return, his coming. Absolutely.
Well, I totally agree. And this is exactly what we're doing, and I feel that there's more of a revelation that's being unfolded as time goes on. The closer we get, if we would have known certain things that would take place at a time and we would have known what they meant now, people might not have taken it serious back then, and we're always to be walking, looking up, and waiting for the return, and living a life that he could show up at a certain time, Do I believe it's on a timeline that's been set, that only he knows about? Yes, I do. Do I think it's a 7,000-year plan because it represents the 6 or 7 day creation that he made? Yes, I do. I think it all ties together with that. I think in 2 Peter, when he's talking about 1,000 years is a day is as 1,000 years, lines up with that as well. I think that there's lots of things like that to do. Should we always still be living a life where we can come at a time? Yes, we should. Do we mess up? Of course. But this timeline is getting closer, and I see the closer it gets, more revelation is being revealed. More stuff is being opened up. Stuff that we didn't know about, like when God tells Daniel, shut the book, for it's not your time. All right, this is for a later generation. That generation is now, and it's starting to be opened up, and I find that very interesting, and only more confirmation that we're exactly in the end time, and that's why it's being opened up. Yeah. It's right now at the time.
Absolutely.
Guys, there's just a few things that we wanted to talk about that are all pointing to the end, lining up right now, right at this time. Some more warning stuff. Could it go on another year? Of course, there's that possibility, but things need to start slowing back down again, and they're not. They're only speeding up. For that reason, I feel like we need to keep, hey, battle cry, everybody get ready from the top of the wall, prepare, get right with God. This is your last chance. So just doing what I do, warning people and trying to get people ready, and nothing more. But as time goes on, we'll find out. So far, nothing's slowing down. It's ramping straight for it. So, you got anything, Chris?
Yeah, in regards to the rapture and watching for the Lord to appear, keep this in mind when you hear the scoffers. Looking for that blessed hope and the glorious appearing of the great God and our Savior, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I like it. And it is. It's the blessed hope. It's an encouragement to one another.
It's saying how to live soberly, righteous, godly, in the present world, while looking for the blessed hope. We're supposed to be looking for it. It's good to be looking for it.
No, that's a great point. Yeah. While you're living...
People are always scoffing at people looking for the rapture. And it's odd to me. It's really weird. Why would you not want to?
Love, it's the love of the world, and it's all over the place. But yeah, no, it's absolutely, there's nothing wrong with looking for it all the time, and I have for a very long time, and so have you, mm-hmm. and it's a blessed hope. It's an encouragement to one another, and it is told that more than once. It's an encouragement for one another, and it is, because when you hear about it, that the trouble, the pain, the suffering that people go through. There's people that watch this channel and others, and they're dealing with sickness and other things like that, and it's terrible. Yeah. And we're going to be able to get away from that and into bodies where that doesn't exist anymore. There's not going to be any more pain or tears or suffering, mm-hmm. and we're going to get to be with Jesus and what we were intended to be, not this world. This is the testing ground. This is like falling in love with basic training. There's a whole other world that's outside of it. It's just it's a short time that we deal with here. So don't hold on to this at all. And be looking up for, redemption draweth nigh, and it's getting very close, and especially with the way things are looking. But I just want to get a few words out on this and tell you guys that it still looks like it's on course. We see that's exactly the direction that it's going. We're going to find out soon enough. It's getting closer every day. But we'll catch you next time. God bless.
God bless.